the Jericho Network on Westwood One.
Talk is Jericho, baby. Talk is Jericho. Talk is Jericho, mama. Talk is me.
Welcome to Talk is Jericho. It's the pot of thunder and rock and roll. And let's go. The Duff McKagan joke of the week.
Hey, Chris Jericho. It's Duff McKagan calling you from sunny Charlotte, South Carolina. Well, I'm actually in New York, South Carolina. And I want to tell you that the turtle got mugged by a couple snails. And, the police came and the turtle's pretty rattled and shaken up. It's been mugged. And the police said, so, can you describe the guy? So, I mean, what happened? And the turtle said, well, all I can say is, I don't know. It happened so fast. Thank you very much. Bye.
Oh, man. Did you get that one? It took me, I had to maybe kind of Google it to have it explained. Because turtles are slow and snails are slow. It happens so fast. Okay, that's a groaner at best. A minimal pop for that one. But give it up. A huge pop for Duff McKagan for calling every single Friday and delivering the Duff McKagan joke of the week. Although Duff might want to ask Alexa for a little help next week because that one was pretty lame. But anyways, that's the last of the live Talk is Jericho podcast recorded on Chris Jericho's Rock and Wrestling Rager at Sea. You heard Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. You heard The Elite. You heard Eddie Guerrero Tribute Show. And this is now the last one we recorded on the ship. Jim Ross and Jerry the King Lawler, the greatest announced team, one of the greatest announced teams in WWE history. We had a great conversation, amazing stories from Jim, amazing stories from Jerry. Here it is, live from Chris Jericho's Rock and Wrestling Rager at Sea. And we've got some huge news for you next week about the Rager Part 2. But here we go, Jerry the King Lawler and Jim Ross right here on Talk is Jericho. Let me introduce to you Jim Ross and Jerry the King Lawler. Here they are.
Chrissy, thanks for coming on. Get it, Chrissy. Hello, my friend. How are you? Jerry, I'm JR. He's Jerry.
So one of the things that when I first started thinking this crazy idea, I think the first guy that I might have booked for the cruise, quote unquote, might have been Jim Ross right here.
Yeah, might have been. #1 draft pick, blue chipper. A little slow 40 times, but a hell of a nice guy.
And then Jerry Lawler as well. He said, can I come on your cruise? I was like, what? Can you come on the cruise, please? I'll call it the King Cruise if you come on. There you go. There we go. Wow, there's a little bit of pyrotechnics going on there.
Was that funny. Intentional right there?
I think so. Just for you said you wanted pyro for your entrance. Exactly. You got it.
It's like my room earlier today.
I was telling Jim earlier, last night I went and saw Blizzard of Ozzy here. And I was on stage rocking and I got hit in the head with a guitar. And I had to go get Stitch at the infirmary here. And I brought up the famous Jim Ross quote. He said, nothing good ever happens after midnight when you've been drinking. And that's pretty much a true story.
Over the years, wrestlers have discovered, with the exception of Jerry, who doesn't do any alcohol or any drugs. Sorry. I make up for our team.
And I did want to explain, when I had several people actually come up to me today and ask me about the fact that we did the toast to kick off the cruise. Right here yesterday, and mine was just pure orange juice.
Kayfabe, Jerry.
Sorry.
Hey, listen, if you're blue, this is why.
That's why you got the black eye.
Yeah, it's also why Jerry's been on top in the business for 40 years, right? He's the smartest one out of all of us.
Actually, Chris, 47, but who's counting?
Now, you do the math about the women.
No.
Here we go, folks. So listen, obviously to me, at this point in time, 2018, there's two, for me, the best commentary teams in WWE history. And I'm going to go with Vince McMahon and Jesse Ventura from the 80s. Modern day, Jim Ross and Jerry the King Lawler. Amazing chemistry, amazing knowledge of the business, a great, very serious, intricate play-by-play, and the what's you call it, Other guy? What is it?
Color guy. The color
Guy.
Analyst.
The color analyst, the color guy with a completely different vibe, still very smart in the business, but very comical as well. Tell us, how did you guys get put together in the first place to do this, to do Raw, or whatever it was where you started?
You know that answer?
Do you remember?
Did I start doing Raw before you did?
I think you did.
I think I did.
Yeah, not much, a little bit. Yeah.
Not much, but a little bit. Yeah, and I tell the story the way I remember it. It may not be exactly right.
Okay.
But
The story's going to favor Jerry no matter what he tells you now. I'm going to look like shit here in a couple of moments.
No. I'm just going to tell you how I got started on there. But you said, Chris, that one of your favorites of all time was Vince McMahon and Jesse Ventura. I gotta agree that, and I'm not saying this to try to kiss up or anything, but Vince McMahon was so underrated as a commentator. I mean, he was really awesome. I loved to listen to him. And what happened in 1993? Of course, Jerry Jarrett and I owned the Memphis territory down there. We Memphis, yeah.
Four of them here. Hey, Memphis. Oh
yeah.
Damn it.
Nobody from Memphis. But anyway, I came up and started working, and I had never in my life, I mean, we came from Memphis where we had two great commentators on our Memphis wrestling show, Lance Russell and Dave Brown. Those guys, I looked up to them. But in all the years that I worked down there, I never even ever once thought about being a commentator. You know, I was like you. I was a wrestler and had wrestled for over 20 years down in Memphis. Every single night of the week, just about, and then came to WWE, started wrestling, and first put with Bret the Hitman Hart, who started working with Bret Hart and different guys, and right.
Kiss My Foot match.
Yeah.
Kiss My Foot match, my favorite. I got to thank Bret. That was the biggest payday I ever got in.
Really?
Biggest payday. The Kiss My Foot match got $150,000.
Wow. And just as a quick segue, did Vince tell you what he wanted you to do when you had to kiss the foot?
No.
Oh, he didn't tell you. Because I could just see Vince, Jerry, it's the smelliest, dirtiest appendage ever.
Well, you know what? We spent months making my foot appear to be the smelliest, dirtiest foot ever, and somehow I still can't realize today how he did it. Somehow Bret twisted my own leg and put my own foot in my mouth. I don't know. I couldn't do that today if you paid me. But anyway.
But he would pay some young lady tonight.
Yeah.
What?
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Anyway, let me finish this story real quick. Get to JR here. But
I forgot what I was
so
gonna say.
we were right in the middle of the Monday Night Wars, right? And remember when the guys kind of were shifting around, going down to WCW? Well, at that time, Vince McMahon was the play-by-play guy, and Randy Macho Man Savage was doing the color commentary. And so one night, I don't remember where we were, but anyway, this is when WCW started going on like an hour before Monday Night Raw. And I'll never forget, Vince was walking around saying, anybody seen Randy? I need to get with him to see tell him about what we're going to do tonight on the show. And it was like an hour before Raw started, and somebody said, Vince, check out the TV. Turns on the TV, and there's Randy Macho Man Savage. Oh, yeah, he was down in WCW. He left without giving any notice or anything. And so the great thing, Vince completely no-sold it. He just looked, there's Randy Savage, who was supposed to be on his show, and he just said, and I happened to be standing over there, he said, King, can you do color commentary with me tonight? And by next week, I'll have somebody to do it on a regular basis. 23 years later, I was still doing it. So that's how that happened with me and Vince. And then not long after that, it became me and JR.
So JR, when you came into WWE to commentate, was Vince commentating? You were kind of taking over for him?
Pardon me. I always thought that it was his job till he got bored with it. And I kind of think he got bored with it because he discovered how much fun Mr. McMahon could be. Because he always wanted to be a wrestling villain. He followed, the Jerry Graham and all those guys he idolized in the 60s.
He loved Jerry Graham.
Loved him.
He still talks about Jerry Graham. And Bobo Brazil.
Yeah, love those guys. So that was Vince, the old school Vince. And him having an opportunity to be a heel just so happened against the hottest babyface that he had found since Hogan in Austin.
Steve Austin.
And it fit the story perfectly. It was the anti-establishment, take this job and shove it guy, an actual real redneck from South Texas, he was exactly what he thought he was on television, just toned down a little bit in private life, and Vince was in this element. That allowed for Jerry and I, we started out as a three-man team with Vince, some of you might remember, and then, yeah, we did that.
Started as a three-man team.
Jerry, me, and Jerry and Vince, and then we went to then Mr. McMahon was discovered, so then that put Jerry and I out there by ourselves. And the beauty of that was Vince was so busy playing his character, learning his promos and writing things, rewriting things at the last minute, answering everybody's concern, and Jericho don't like his finish, and so-and-so didn't like his payoff, and you still got to go be Mr. McMahon. So he left our ass alone. Those great years that we had so much fun there, because whether we were good or bad, that's up to you guys. It was what we felt was the right thing to do. It felt right. It wasn't producer, say this, say that, breathe, cough, fart, burp, nothing. Tell the story. And our job was always to get the talent over. He and his peers, like Jerry, make music. Dudes like me write lyrics. Great music comes first, the lyrics come second, we put it all together, and sometimes we have a hell of a
Wow.
presentation.
That's brilliant. That's really, really cool analogy.
You know, one of the things that JR mentioned there that hardly anybody realizes this, but Memphis and my territory had a great deal to do with Vince McMahon leaving leaving commentary desk and being the evil Mr. McMahon. Because
how?
Well, at that time, the WWE were sending some talent down to Memphis. We still ran Memphis, and I was basically coming up and working on Monday nights and still going back and wrestling down in Memphis in our territory the rest of the week. And so Vince started sending some talent down there. I mean, they were using Memphis as sort of what NXT would be now. It's a developmental territory. Kurt Angle came down and had his very first match ever on Memphis TV.
Wow.
We sent Dwayne down there too.
You sent Dwayne Johnson. The Rock was working. They called us up one day. We had to throw together a loser leave town match on Saturday morning TV because Vince, we had the championship on The Rock, or we were calling him
Flex
Cavana down there. Yeah, we had to throw together a loser leave town match between me and The Rock because Vince called up and said, I got to have The Rock at Monday night, for Raw.
With like 2 days' notice.
Yeah. Well, so he sent Bret the Hitman Hart down to work with me in Memphis, and then somehow I don't know how or why, I can't remember exactly why it happened, but Vince came down to be in Bret's corner. He brought Pat Patterson with him. Pat Patterson was there to be like Vince's bodyguard, and then somewhere, and what was so great was because, like he said, Bret Hart all around the rest of the country, all around the rest of the world. I mean, he was a big baby face. Everybody loved him, and I was the big bad guy up in the WWE. But down in Memphis, I'd been the baby face for years and years.
You're the king, man.
When Bret came down to Memphis, everybody hated him. So when Vince came in to be in Bret's corner, everybody hated Vince. And I remember running around the ring, going after Bret Hart down there, and Vince stuck his foot out, tripped me. I came over and I had to punch Pat Patterson to get to Vince. And that was the very first time that Vince ever really interjected himself into the storylines. And from there, when he started doing it in WWE.
Wow. So it's your fault.
It's my fault. You're right.
All right, so we got more with Jim Ross and Jerry the King Lawler, but first, got to take care of an awesome sponsor who's not only taking care of Talk is Jericho, but is also taking care of all of you for Valentine's Day. That's right, I got your back on Valentine's Day because it's this Thursday, less than a week away, and if you wait until the last minute to get a gift, you still got time to get something very cool thanks to Steven Singer. He's the jewelry guy I've been talking about for weeks now. He's the one who hooked up a bunch of Talk is Jericho listeners, dozens of you, with some free gold-dipped roses. That's the guy I'm talking about. Other jewelers hate Steven Singer because he's got the best Valentine's gift ever, a real long stem American Beauty rose deeply dipped in pure 24 karat gold. It's amazing. It's just $59. I mean, come on, gold dipped rose for $59. I'll have one. I'll have two. The Steven Singer Gold Dipped Rose won't wilt. It won't die. It doesn't even need water. It's an awesome gift that will last forever, just like your love. Aw. Surprise your Valentine with this super unique, cool gift. And the Steven Singer Gold Dipped Roses come with your own personalized love note in Steven's signature gift box, all shipped for free for just $59. But you gotta hurry up because Valentine's Day is this Friday, but there's still time for free shipping, but you gotta order by 5 p.m. Eastern this Tuesday, February 12th, to get the free shipping. So go to IHateStevenSinger.com, get your order in, that's IHateStevenSinger.com, and order by 5 p.m. Eastern on Tuesday, February 12th to get the free shipping. IHateStevenSinger.com. Steven Singer Jewelers, one place, one price. This is the gift she will cherish forever. That's IHateStevenSinger.com. Go check it out now. But hurry, you got to order it by 5 p.m. Eastern this Tuesday, February 12th, to get free shipping on those gold dipped roses. Do it.
So, Jerry, you said something very interesting to me. So, Vince was not in your ear or your ear, Jerry? Because as a commentator now, we hear that quite a bit, that Vince is always talking. When I do guest commentary, Chris, talk about the body slam or whatever. And you're trying to talk and you're watching, and then you'd be like, and then this guy comes over, this guy, talk about the monkey flip. And you're like, dude, shut up. Did you guys have to deal with that a lot?
You think that, but you can't say that, right?
Yeah, of course we did. Here's the thing. Here's how that worked. When he's Mr. McMahon and the height of his being a villain in the Attitude Era, we heard from nobody but Kevin Dunn. It was glorious. Bobby Roode, thank you. Glorious. And then over the years, as the Mr. McMahon character took different shades, we were produced heavier. Knowing that my partner was not going to take as much bullshit as I will, I got all of his wrath, and guess who got none of his wrath?
But see, that doesn't surprise me because King is a performer. He's a wrestler, and in Vince's mind, he can't give this. You know, you're not a performer, quote unquote.
I'm not.
You're Jim Ross. You're an announcer, so he's not going to yell at Jerry Lawler, the wrestler. I'm just talking the way that Vince thinks. And do you feel that's the reason why you took more of the wrath?
Yeah, JRs are easy to replace, even though they're still trying 20 years later.
Yeah! There you go. True story.
My granddad would say, I think Monsoon's favorite say to me was, "Don't break your arm, Okie," patting yourself on the back. I just patted myself on the back and I apologize for future reference.
Okie?
Yeah, Okie. What a great, see, that's the great thing about the business. You have these wonderful, now guys after wrestling, they don't ride in cars together like they used to as much. They don't spend the same amount of time conversing with their peers. They don't spend the same amount of time talking about things. They're on they're playing video games. And here's what they'll say, well, JR's an old guy. Look at him, he's an old bastard. He don't believe video games. I made hundreds of thousands of dollars off video games. I love video games.
That's true. He's the voice of all the video games.
But the bottom line of it is that to really get good in this craft, you got to interact with your guys. And that's a car trip or whatever it may be. And now, man, it's a different world. Everybody's got different priorities. And I think that's why we're seeing some of the trends in the business change a little bit. We have too many with a millennial mindset of taking shortcuts. And you can't take a shortcut in wrestling. Well, I'll do these 3 great things, but I won't sell shit. You just took me out of it, man. You showed me where the thing was up your sleeve. It just didn't work. Your gimmick didn't work, man. So that's kind of where I see that going. And
so
well, I just want to add a little bit about what we started talking about the wrath of Vince McMahon, through your headset. And I can honestly say, and JR, well, you already said it, but for 25 years, there almost every Monday night or every Tuesday night, yeah, I swear sometimes JR would say, "Is he all over your ass tonight?" Like during the commercial break, right? And I said, I haven't heard a word from him.
Boy, that was uplifting too. That made me feel so good about myself.
But you know what?
I heard nothing.
But you know
anything to me?
The funny thing was, the funny thing was, he really did. There you go.
That's Jack Slade. He just brought us a drink. JR needs one too. What are you drinking, JR?
Moscow Mules.
Vodka?
Vodka, ginger beer, a little bit of lime juice, and some ice.
Good Lord, did you get that, Jack? Get him whatever he just said.
Yeah, whatever that was.
So Vince would not...
No, I can honestly say in like 25 years, he never once ever yelled at me.
Not one time?
Not even one time.
Wow.
But you know what? And JR took it. I don't think he ever yelled at you as much as he did some of the other announcers. I swear to you, poor Michael Cole, when he first started there.
Well, here's the deal. When I followed the TBS, and I love Tony Schiavone, he's one of my best friends to this very day. But he followed Gordon. I didn't. So I got to slide in there. I followed David Crockett. You get it? You with me? You feel me? So it's a matter of that whole progress. I was a popular guy at that time, and King and I were a great team, and all of a sudden, JR gets taken out with Bell's palsy and facial paralysis, blah, 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 poor him, and he ain't around right now, and so Cole follows me. He's got people, all of a sudden, he's already a heel, and the creative that we did that night to make him a babyface, we all said, this is going to make him a heel. Oh, no, this won't make him a heel. It's new psychology. It's new psychology. So you don't get new psychology. I don't get new psychology, do I? I really don't. You're right. I don't get a damn thing about it.
I remember, though, one of the first nights that Michael Cole was there when he got his initiation under fire. I mean, we're live. You know, you're on live TV, and there's nobody but me sitting here and Michael Cole sitting right there, and, of course, Vince in your headset. And you gotta realize, you know this, Chris and JR. If it didn't happen in the WWE, it didn't never happen. And a lot of things that happened a long time ago in the WWE didn't happen either.
Right, revisionist history.
So what happened when they had I don't even know. Let's just say it was like Stone Cold getting ready to wrestle The Rock, something like that. And so, but they were pretending like it had never happened before, right? This is the
First time ever.
First time ever, right?
Because I know all you marks are buying it first time ever, every time. Because you're all gullible bastards. Each and every one of you. All of you.
Exactly.
Gullible.
So we're sitting there and
First time ever.
We're doing the show, and Michael Cole somehow, now this, once again, we're live, and I'm just sitting there looking at him, and Michael says, oh, I'll tell you what, man, King, these two guys, back in the day, these two guys had a long history against each other. And all of a sudden, and we're live, all of a sudden, Vince McMahon comes on in both of our ears, and I can hear him say, Michael, you stupid son of a bitch! Why in the would you ever say something like that?
Like he wants to engage you in a conversation while you're on the air.
Right, now Michael Cole...
hold on, folks. I got Vince on the other line. Hey, Vince, off. Hey,
yeah, so Cole's eyes get like this. And he just shuts up, right? And so I have to jump in there and start saying something, but that's how Vince could be at certain. Mick Foley, Mick's on the cruise, right?
He is.
Mick came and they had Mick start and do color commentary for a little while.
He worked with me. I killed his career.
Work with you. and Mick said, he said, man, I can't do this. He said, my own daddy never talked to me like that. He said, I can't take this verbal abuse every week. So he could be rough with some people.
It's very taxing, and you got to be really focused on what you're doing. Taz didn't like that environment.
One night, in this truth, one night I think he told Taz and whoever he was working with, take your headsets off and put your microphone down and come back here to the back.
During the show.
During the show.
Live.
They were like on the live show, and Vince got so mad at me, he said, take your freaking headsets off and come back here.
Wow.
There was no commentary.
I never got that one.
Just don't even talk.
No, don't even talk.
Wow. Yeah, a little bit crazy sometimes, right? So JR and the King have more stories about Vince McMahon, Hulk Hogan, and we'll also share some of their favorite matches. But first, I said it earlier, I'm going to say it again because I've got your back. Valentine's Day is Thursday, less than 1 week away. I want to make sure you're not in the doghouse because you forgot Valentine's Day. Don't do that. I also want to make sure you give an amazing gift. So I got another brilliant idea for you. Indulgences.store. It's the perfect idea for anyone who has a Valentine who's not into candy or flowers. Indulgences.store is healthy, hot beverages. That's what they do. Super delicious hot chocolates, teas, and coffees. They got some interesting, cool flavors like white chocolate cream cheese and mint condition. You just add hot water and you're sipping a little bit of luxury without the guilt. And 1 can of any Indulgences beverage mix is going to last you about a month. That's the gift that keeps on giving, man. I'll tell you what. All the hot beverages at Indulgences.store are 100% natural, no sugar added. They're all filled with superfoods like MCT oil, collagen, and chia seeds. MCT oil is the healthy fat that fuels the brain and heart. It's the stuff in bulletproof coffee, which I know a lot of you guys know about and drink already. MCT oil is much better than glucose, which is in most foods. These drinks are perfect if your Valentine is doing a low carb or keto diet. Get your Valentine one of the gift packs that start as low as $39, or you can always indulge her with all 6 flavors. That's right. Or you can enroll her in a subscription program to get 12 additional flavors over the course of the next year. And you know I've got the hookup for you. If you order now and use my promo code Jericho, you'll save an additional 10%. What more do you want? Get on it. Get your Valentine a gift she'll love and one that she'll enjoy for months to come. Go to Indulgences.store and use the promo code Jericho to save 10% on these amazing hot chocolates, teas, coffees, all the hot beverages you need. Indulgences with an S at the end, .store, and use my promo code Jericho. Again, that's Indulgences.store, Indulgences.store. Order today.
So tell us a little bit about like when you guys were commentating Raw before the show. Sometimes I would want to talk to Vince, but he's having a meeting with you guys. What would that meeting entail?
We had one meeting, Jerry and I. We had one meeting.
Only one?
Yeah.
Oh, because now there's a meeting every night before the show.
We don't do that.
No, why was there only one?
Homie don't play that. Well, the deal is that we want the last version of the last rewrite of the last hour going into the live at the top of the hour version.
And the reason why he says that is they rewrite the show constantly throughout the day.
Yeah. Throughout the show sometimes. We've gone out there and got one sheet of format, one segment. There's 11 segments at that time. Or the other 10 segments. You'll get them. You'll get them. But don't worry about JR and the King. We got this son of a bitch, man. We got you. We got you. But that's the thing, they rewrite stuff. But I want to tell you one story about this business producing. We have all these meetings. Leads right into it. All these meetings. Jerry was having to come to the meeting that we had at 10 o'clock in the morning. And he weaseled his way out of that, which gave me weasel room to follow suit. Because we said by the time we go on the air at 9 o'clock at night, we've been there, seemingly 2 days. So Jerry got out of the meeting, I got out of the meeting, so now we only have one meeting. That's with Vince, right before we go out. Maybe 20 minutes, right? 15, 20 minutes, nothing. He gave us the high points. Segment 1, segment 6, 7, 11. The start, the crossover, and the go home. Simple. This ain't math here, kids. This ain't calculus. This is easy shit. This is wrestling. Don't overthink it. And then we would go over that, and he would turn us loose. And because he had that last word, it oftentimes gave us a reprieve, Chris, a reprieve that we're not going to get yelled at all night, just some of the night. I'm sitting there one night, and he says to me, he's on the air, on my headset, he's not talking to Jerry, just me again. And he says, say it, goddammit. And I says,
that's good.
So I ignored him. And the segment's coming down to a close. God damn it, I said, say it, God damn it. Say it. And like in 3, 2, 1, we're going to commercial break. So now, I know I'm getting it right now, right? JR, Yes, sir? It's only me and you now. So I'm thinking, what the fuck are we, Doc Holliday on the goddamn Deadwood? We're gonna draw down here in the park fair or the throwaway or whatever it's called? Jesus. Yes, sir. Did you hear me tell you to say it? Yes, sir, I did. Well, I'm goddamn sure glad you didn't say it because it'd have been wrong. You should have known better. You never know. So I didn't say it, and I held my ground, and I got off. I dodged a bullet, as they say in the biz.
Right. Well, that's what Pat Patterson always says. Some days he likes chocolate, some days he likes vanilla, but it's his ice cream shop. There you go, Jack.
Solo cup.
King, what are you drinking? It's iced tea?
This is a
Metamucil.
yeah. Hold the Geritol. This is it was a peach, like a margarita, virgin margarita.
Shirley Temple.
If you would like another
about
one,
2
Jack,
hours
we'll
ago.
get you one as well.
I'm good.
Let me ask you guys a question. You're talking about being such a great team, having great chemistry, play-by-play color. What is not the secret, but what was your recipe to being a play-by-play announcer and being a color commentator? What did you guys do?
Mine was really simple. I understood my role. And that's not because he's sitting here, you know, he was the better of the two. He's a better performer than me. And I knew that my job would be to set things up and to be the point guard and get him the ball. I had no ego issues in that regard, even though some of my other broadcast partners and former employers may say that. I had to have ego issues. I didn't. I knew my role, I figured it out, I got him the ball, and he scored. And we kept scoring and scoring and scoring, and all of a sudden we became a part of pop culture. I knew my role, and I didn't have any problems fulfilling what I did for our team to make what we did sound good.
But Jim, you were always very good too as a play-by-play guy. You brought a real sports element to your commentating. And wrestling, as we know, I do never use the F word, the fake word. It's obviously a show, but you always approached it like a football game, for example, which I know you love, or a hockey game.
I wanted to smoothly perpetuate the illusion of what many of the fans were seeing. And if I snap you out of reality, well, he missed that high spot. I guess he's not going over tonight. That's kind of like watching a stunt double in a porn flick. That's my next career, by the way. I'm going to do porn voiceovers. For the love of God!
How about that? You know, one of the things. There you go. I think there's one word that I've heard and that I've described used to describe JR. Well, first of all, I think the first order of business for JR and myself, we were both fans of the business. We were both fans of wrestling from way back. But JR brought a passion to the announce table that I don't think anybody has ever duplicated. I don't think they ever had it before him, and I don't think there's been that kind of passion since then. And the great thing about JR, you talk about how we prepared for anything. What was so great for me was, and this is the honest to God's truth, I never prepared for anything. Because JR was so prepared that I didn't have to do anything. I would always, before the show, I would take a look at maybe who's going to be on the show, or I already knew, and I would write down like a page of maybe 15 or 20 one-liners on a sheet of paper that I may use or may not use, but that's my only preparation. JR knows during the broadcast, and I think you probably saved some of them, we would have a run sheet that would tell you what order of everything that was going to happen on the show. I used mine as a doodle sheet. I would draw pictures every week.
He's a great artist too, by the way.
Nudes,
Yeah.
Look, it's 20 years ago, for God's sakes. It was great.
Puppies chant.
There you go. The
If I'd only kept all those doodles now,
You know
I could
that
have sold them. I'd sent me a gimmick table up on this cruise and sold them to you guys.
you know that you coined that phrase too, King. Puppies. That's still like in pop culture.
It is.
nomenclature now.
And you know, it's funny. I mean, I always try to give credit where credit is due. I was not the first person to say the word or use that phrase on WWE TV. It was, I think it was when DX was out there, and it was Road Dogg. Road Dogg said to, I don't know if it was Sable or somebody, one of the divas, said, "Show us your puppies." And that was it, Deborah? Okay, well, that's the first time that I heard the
You ever
phrase.
have puppies?
You know what's funny? Those
But I ran with it. Let me just tell you this. This is a funny story that just happened to me week before last at the New York Comic Con. Because everybody remembers certain things that really affected them. You know, there's things that that they have heard me or JR say over the years that really meant something to them. I had this one guy come up to me, and he was standing there. He said, "Man, it is such an honor to meet you." He said, "I can't tell you how great it was when I used to sit in front of the TV and hear you, when all the beautiful divas come out, and hear you say, 'Titties, titties.'" And I went, "What?" I said, "I never said titties on TV." And I said puppies. He went, "Oh yeah, puppies, I'm sorry." So everybody remembers stuff differently, right?
You know, it's funny, those Armstrongs, because Brad Armstrong always used to say, "If you pick up what I'm throwing down, if you smell what I'm cooking." And Brian started saying it, and Rock heard Brian say it, and that's where "Do you smell what the Rock is cooking" came from. Brad Armstrong.
There you
Puppies came from Brian Armstrong.
Yes, it did.
These freaking Armstrongs, man. You know?
All right, we wouldn't have this great episode with two WWE Hall of Famers, Jim Ross and Jerry the King Lawler, if not for the sponsors who make this show possible, including Robinhood. Robinhood is an investing app that lets you buy and sell stocks, ETFs, options, and cryptos, all commission-free. While other brokerages charge up to $10 for every trade, Robinhood doesn't charge any commission fees, so you can trade stocks and keep all of your profits, all right? Plus, there's no account minimum deposit needed to get started, so you can start investing at any level. The simple, intuitive design of Robinhood makes investing easy for newcomers and experts alike. View easy-to-understand charts and market data, and place a trade in just 4 taps on your smartphone. You can also view stock collections, such as 100 most popular. With Robinhood, you can learn how to invest in the market as you build your portfolio, discover new stocks, track your favorite companies, and get custom notifications for price movements so you never miss the right moment to invest. Robinhood is giving listeners of Talk is Jericho a free stock like Apple, Ford, or Sprint to help you build your portfolio. Sign up at jericho.robinhood.com. That's jericho.robinhood.com.
Let me, you talk about your one-liners, Jerry, and you always had, like you said, you wrote some down, you always had. Now you can go on an app and find them. At the time, how did you get all your one-liners?
Just mostly like joke books and different things
You
like
would buy
that.
joke books?
I mean, I was always a big fan. Yeah, I would definitely buy. I swear I told this story a long time ago too. This was and Jim Cornette has used the same jokes that I've used over for 100 years. But anyway, yeah, when I first started, I don't even know why I was in a bookstore and I saw this little book, little paperback book. It was a set 1,001 Insults by Louis Safian.
Louis Safian?
Shout out to Louis Safian.
Shout out to Louis. But I bought that book, and there was, I mean, I made a career out of Louis Safian's 1,001 Insults.
There you go, kids. You want to start like Jerry Lawler? By my endorse, Louis Safian, whatever his name was. That'll be on the markets on Monday or Tuesday of about a week from now.
Right.
Do you have one or two one-liners that you are your favorites that you used over the years? You always some good ones about Stu and Helen Hart. You used to
Oh my gosh.
bag on them all the time. The old people jokes.
Stu and Helen Hart and Moolah and Mae Young. That was the best the old people joke. I once said about Stu and Helen Hart, I said they produce more tragedies than Shakespeare. Wait a minute.
Hold on. Nothing to see here. Move on.
You know, and that was one of the things I always worried over the years. I always worried that they were upset, that they would get upset,
Well, I'd
and
like
that Brett
to,
was upset. And
Stretch his ass in the dungeon sometime. That Jerry Lawler with a phony Memphis kind of.
Where else are you going to hear Jim Ross imitate Stu Hart?
right.
Only on the Jericho Cruise.
It's a Canadian Canuck thing, young man.
So you always worried that he would be upset?
Well, I was, especially a couple of the times when he put the sharpshooter on me. I got to thinking he must be upset about what I said about his parents because he's trying to break me in half, right? But he told me, and the last time we were in a ring together up in Canada, they brought Brett out for acknowledgement or something. Anyway, he told me at that time, he said, man, I meant to tell you this. He said, but my parents loved the fact that you brought them, because it gave them notoriety. It made them a part of the show. Yeah, and
Recognition.
Yeah, he said
That's
my
all
mother
we ever
especially
want,
loved
is
it.
to be a part of the show.
Yeah. So I was
Bottom line of the whole damn
Let me
thing.
ask you guys a question, and
part of
this
the
is
show.
something that just popped in my head when we were talking about the Hearts. You guys had maybe one of the hardest jobs ever the night that Owen passed away. You guys had to basically tell the world what was going on that night. Were you told anything?
Well, I can tell you, Jerry really had it spotted quicker than I did. I didn't leave my post. We're 20 feet from where it occurred. I didn't leave my post because of the communication and where are we going next? Or is the show going to go on, or what's the deal?
Did you know right away that he had passed away at that point?
Well, here's what happened like JR and I, our monitors are down, in the
And he went to
table.
check it out.
Well, and JR, what was happening when Owen actually fell, they were showing on the Titantron and on our monitors, they were showing an actual interview of the Blue Blazer that he was making right before he was going to come into the ring. And JR was looking down, and I, for some reason, I don't know why, I just wasn't looking down. I think I may have been looking up at the Titantron, but I actually saw him come like into my field of vision, boom, right, and land right in the ring in front of us. And I just looked, and I punched JR because our mics were live, and he looked at me, and I didn't want to say it, but I just mouthed it. I said, he fell. I said, Owen just fell, and he was going, what? And so the Mark Eaton was right there beside me. I took my headsets off and I ran over to Mark and I said, hey, Owen just fell. And I ran up to the ring, and then Mark Eaton came up to the ring, and I could tell, that they immediately the paramedics got in and they took his mask off, and I could literally see the blood draining out of his. He's laying on his back, and his face just went, from flesh color to gray, just right then.
So when Jerry got back, he just shook his head. It's not good. This is horrible. The worst thing that could happen has happened. That's what I translated out of his look. That's what Chris talks about, our chemistry. We don't have, chemistry is a different thing. You don't develop chemistry in Orlando, so you'll know. It's a life journey, and you hope that your paths come together, but it don't all start and end in Orlando, for the record, in my opinion, just saying. So now we are on the air. I don't remember all that happened, the whole 9 yards, and all I know is this. We're coming back to doing on camera, and Kevin Dunn in our truck says, JR, we're coming back to you and the King at ringside, meaning on camera, and we need you to give the update on Owen. I hit the talkback button that only he and I can hear. I said, I don't have an update. He hits his talkback button to me and says, Owen's dead. You're back in 10, 9, 8, and count me right in. I have no idea what I said that day. I wrote about it in my book, Slobberknocker, which it's in that, but I never watched it again until I wrote the book. I couldn't stand to live through that again. of all the people in the wrestling business I've known in 40 plus years, Owen is the number one to the list of somebody that nobody ever knocks.
True story.
Now, and the WWE later on took a lot of heat on the fact that a lot of people said, oh, you should have canceled the pay-per-view, should have been stopped right at that point, and that sort of thing. But the truth of the matter was, everybody knew he fell, but nobody at that time, even the paramedics, I mean, they took Owen back and they put him in an ambulance and they took him out. I think I may have been, or maybe some of the paramedics may have been the only person that felt sure that Owen was gone. I mean, they took him to the hospital, tried to work on him and everything like that. So it wasn't, you know, it wasn't that everybody knew that he was gone right then. You know, a lot of people were hoping that they'd be able to save him. And that is basically why the show went on. You know, it wasn't until almost, it was over an hour later that we actually got the actual word that JR had to make.
And this is something that I think a lot of you guys might not understand. Like what Jim just said about Owen's gone 10, 9, 8. This happens to us a lot of times when stuff will happen, but the show continues. And in 10 seconds, we're live. So you better just shake it off, guys. And if someone gets hurt or if a segment gets changed, someone passes away, which is the worst element of it. But these guys were the ones that were able to keep the ball rolling and keep the show going because they're total pros. A lot of people wouldn't have been able to do that. Let me ask you about, when was the first time you guys met each other? Do you remember?
Yeah. That's a Mid-South thing, right?
I think so.
Yeah. Jerry and Jerry Jarrett came to Shreveport to watch Mid-South produce TV at the Irish O'Neill Boys Club. And somebody here gave me a t-shirt tonight. Thank you very much for that. Appreciate it. Irish O'Neill Boys Club boxing shirt. But they came to our TV because a talent trade was afloat. Much like what Chris has done on this cruise, where he's brought promotions together to some degree. And here's the irony of that deal. You guys would love this. I'm not going to go into any detail. It's funny that some people, no matter how hard you try to do the right thing and to get promotions working with each other, because individually they're dying and they can't get along. It's embarrassing. And it's selfish. And somebody along the way is going to create another company someday that's going to not let you worry about all that bullshit. I heard.
So you're at the Boys Club, Shreveport.
Yeah, Shreveport, the Boys Club, and Jerry and Jarrett come in to do some scouting, make a talent trade. Out of that talent trade, I think you guys got Rick Rude, I believe, Jim the Animal Neidhart, 2 Hall of Fame guys. I don't remember who all else. And Cowboy got the Rock and Roll Express. He made the Midnight Express with Cornette and Dennis and Bobby. And we got somebody else in that deal.
I think Bill Dundee, Coco Beware, bunch of.
Yeah,
It's a good trade.
Yeah,
It's a good trade. It's like a hockey team.
So in that, somewhere in the world, the tape is available for JR and the Kings' first match together ever, and it was at the Irish O'Neill Boys Club in Shreveport in the 80s. How about that?
So before JR and the King talk about a couple more of their favorite matches and stories, let's give a shout out to another WWE Hall of Famer, Diamond Dallas Page, and his awesome DDPY program. I've been talking about DDPY for years and years, almost 10 years now, so you all know what it's done for me, both for wrestling and Fozzy, and I think it's time for you to try it yourself. There's no more reason to wait. Dallas is the reason why. Dallas has given everyone 7 days of completely free access to the DDP Yoga Now app, so you can see for yourself how life-changing this program can be. That's 1 week to try the program, explore the app, and own your life completely for free. So get started at ddpyoga.com/Jericho. Mick Foley, AJ Styles, Drew McIntyre, Bobby Fish, Jake the Snake Roberts, Scott Hall, just a handful of guys owning their lives with DDPY. Rudy Sarzo, Rich Ward, Corey Taylor, musicians are getting involved. And now, this is huge, Dallas has partnered with the NFL alumni to bring DDP to all veteran football athletes. It's amazing, that's huge. But the beauty of DDPY is it's not just for athletes and superstars and musicians, it's for everyone, no matter your age, weight, or fitness level. You make the DDPY workouts your own and adjust it to your skill level accordingly. And the app makes it really easy. So much information, So many pointers. DDP himself is going to give you pointers to keep you on track and focused on your goals. And you can connect a Bluetooth heart rate monitor to keep track of your workout data and calories burned. And you can get the app to stream the workouts on your TV so you can get them on the big screen. I can't say enough about the DDP Yoga Now app. You need to download it. You need to get on the program. You need to own your life. Sign up for your free 7-day access at ddpyoga.com/Jericho and pick up Dallas's book to help you get started. It's called Positively Unstoppable, The Art of Owning It. We talked about this a few weeks ago with Dallas. A great interview if you haven't heard that. And remember, his book is filled with lessons from Dallas's own life and career. You can get it wherever books are sold. And if you want to try DDP with Dallas himself, he's got a couple live workshops coming up. One in Baltimore, March 17th. One in New York City, April 5th during WrestleMania weekend. Go check that out. Sign up for ddpyogaworkshops.com and you can get involved with that. You still got time to sign up for the DDPY retreat as well, which is happening June 23rd to the 29th at the 5-star El Dorado Resort in Riviera Maya. I went there a few years ago. It was amazing. You can eat great food, meet great people, squeeze in some live DDPY workouts with Dallas. Reserve your spot today at ddpretreat.com. That's ddpretreat.com. If you're on Chris Jericho's Rock and Roll Wrestling Rager at Sea, you did the DDP yoga, you know how amazing it is. You can do that with DDP. Once again, ddpretreat.com. Go sign up and be a part of it now.
So let me ask you a question. When you guys are out there like a stadium show, for example, WrestleMania, it's a long show, 4 hours. Now it's 8 hours. Did you guys ever have to go to the bathroom at all? And what do you do if you have to go?
Well, I called my friends in NASCAR and said, how do you guys keep from pissing yourself? Sans the catheter. I ain't gonna go, hey, I love you fans, I'll do anything in the world for you, but I ain't gonna do no goddamn catheter for you or anybody else.
It's
no
going
catheter.
too far.
I live in a no catheter zone. So, and some days, when it was gonna be a really long show, I would back up my undergarments with what they give old men that piss themselves.
Depends?
Depends.
Seriously?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
But what you always do, and you should notice this, next time you watch wrestling, you're going to say, that damn JR put that thought in my head and I can't get it out. Watch all those announcers wear dark suits. There's a reason they wear dark suits. So, yeah. And you gotta start restricting your liquid intake around 3 o'clock in the afternoon, or much like right now, you got to piss really bad.
I was, you know,
Got 10 minutes left.
That was one of the other good things that came from me not ever drinking. I've in all of those years, I can never remember having to be under great pressure to go relieve myself.
Not
during
one
the
time.
Not even one time. No.
You're a genetic freak,
I'm
kid.
blessed with a heavy duty bladder somehow. Yeah.
So when
His bladder's like a saddlebag. And Wells Fargo or something along those lines, they throw those horses. I think it's the king's bladder's kind of that way. Saddlebag.
How was it for you, for both you guys? There was a time, Jim, when Jerry left and you was there. There was a time when Jim leaves or there fired leaves, whatever it was. Was it hard for you to continue without the other?
Well, we're businessmen.
Right.
And we're old school guys, we're territory guys. When we're booked, we appear. It's like here. I had cancer surgery Thursday.
Wow. Really?
Yeah, and I'm here.
You okay?
Yeah.
Thank you. He's been through a lot of shit this year, man. He still showed up.
I did that because I made a commitment to Chris. And I made another commitment to Chris years ago when I signed him.
True story. Jim Ross and Jerry Briscoe, we met at the Bombay Bicycle Club.
Bombay Bicycle Club.
In Clearwater, Florida.
I put the screws, you know, we got to go here. and it was, unfortunately, sometimes you get stuck over downside guarantees. When you tell a kid you're going to make a lot more money than that, I promise you. But why don't you just guarantee it? Because that's not the way we do business.
Right.
And it worked out. Did you ever hear you didn't exceed your downside guarantee, maybe
of course
double?
not. At that point, I would have come to WWE for a bag of used hockey pucks. I didn't give a shit. I just wanted to come work for you.
But my guy. So I made a commitment to be here, and I'm here, and I want. But see, look, all through the last couple of years since my wife died, and I had to finish the book with Paul O'Brien. It's been a very emotional year for me. I've cried more, man, and thought about my life and what's Have I done good? Have I left anything? Did I ignore my children? You know, this whole wrestling thing became everything to me. It's everything. And I want to tell you guys, you're here, and I appreciate it, and I know Chris does. I appreciate it because he's paying me a lot of money to be here, and I appreciate it.
Wait a minute. You're getting paid?
Ixnay on the piss aid, JSIR.
Oh, sorry. Never mind. Scratch that from the tweet.
Edit that out.
Edit. But point being, our world is about commitments and keeping them. Think about that. I made a commitment to be here, and I'm here because you guys are here too. Why not? So I'm good.
So what you're saying is when the king left,
the king.
you have to continue.
Well, when the king left, I was very lucky because as a polar opposite.